Just checking you can all still hear me. Could you just raise your hand? My assistant Trish is on with us. So Trish, if you just let me know that you can still hear me and you can see the screen, okay, that would be great. Just send me a chat message, that would be fine. Okay, let's get going. Well, thank you for coming to this webinar, Get Your First Paying Coaching Clients, with me, Karen Edgar. And you're in the right place if you plan to start or have already started a coaching business to serve the world with your uniqueness. But you fear that you don't have what it takes and are struggling to actually get your business off the ground. And maybe you have money blocks and hate asking for the sale, or can't quite work out how to charge because you have a limited view of your own value. And you dream of becoming a coach who shines in her visibility, who knows how to make more money than she's ever had before, who has up-leveled her wealth consciousness, who leads her own community, and who has impact and purpose in the world. So who am I? Well, I'm Karen Edgar, and this is my little family. This is Catherine, who's 13, who loves pink. She loves drama. She loves everything girly. She's just getting into makeup and leaving behind the dolls. And this is Angel, my beautiful white cat, who is got long, furry, white fur, and is very aloof, very beautiful, but she knows it. And we live in Leamington Spa. So for those who aren't sure where Leamington Spa is, it's about half an hour from Birmingham in the middle of the country. So who am I? Well, I'm the owner of Smart Woman Academy. And I called my business Smart Woman Academy because I think it's the smart woman who, recognizing that things aren't working in her favor, takes steps to do something about her life. She takes smart. She doesn't just allow it to happen and just live in a situation that's not right for her. And I walked my talk. I left a man who I left a marriage and because I was so lonely in the marriage, and I just knew it wasn't working for me. And that man is totally different to me in beliefs, in spiritual outlook, and all sorts. And I left my 23-year HR career as well after I didn't feel fulfilled, and knew there was something more for me, because I've always wondered, since I was a child, why are we here? Why do people get into their cars to go to places they don't want to be in, to work with people they wouldn't necessarily choose, and to do work that's not very fulfilling? I could just never get that, and I never understood that. And so, throughout my life, I think I've always known that I was going to be doing something different. And you probably feel the same way. You probably have felt different, maybe that you didn't fit in and you're not quite sure, what it is you're supposed to be here for. And I work with new and aspiring coaches to ignite their coaching business. But I'm a bit different from other business coaches because I'm also a leading life purpose consultant as well. So I help women, and I'll go into this in more detail later, but I help women identify why they're here and what their purpose is and how that translates into their business. So, preparing for success is exciting, isn't it? It really is. It may feel scary, it may feel daunting, but I'm sure the various experiences that we've had so far and the successful ones that you've had so far, they've been exciting, but it can also be a little bit daunting. So what are the vital keys to success in your coaching business? How can you have the best coaching business you can possibly have, and be the best coaching owner you can possibly be? Well, I think one of the keys, there are 5 keys I'm going to share with you tonight. One of them is totally believing it's possible. And, believe that it can happen. You have to believe it can happen. So in 1 month in 2015 or this year, I made more money than I had in the whole of 2014. And that's because I changed my beliefs and I started to expect it to happen. Because we don't need to put limitations on ourselves. We can really aim for the stars and hit the goals we want to achieve. There are lots of coaches out there who've already been making thousands of pounds each month. And I want you to get that if they're doing it, so can you. There's nothing special about them apart from they have decided to do it. There is no reason why you can't achieve the kind of success quicker than you think. And if you are a relatively, a relationship coach or a business coach or a health coach, have a look to see who else is doing that in your industry. Because when you find someone that's really, really successful, that shows that it's humanly possible. It's not like it's pie in the sky. There's a human being doing it. They've just learned different, business strategies. They've learned their mindset strategies, and they've changed the way they looked at the world. And that's really all that's given them the success. So, go out and find other coaches who are in similar niches to you. Look at what they're doing and really get inspired that it is possible for you. I remember my mentor telling me that how she got started. And she came from quite lowly beginnings. She was earning $24,000 a year. And now she's a 7-figure business owner. And, I got inspired by that it could happen for me. And when I saw that, with the right guidance and support and structure, it can happen quickly based on what your own desires are. Not everybody wants to be a 7-figure business owner. Some people want to have 6 figures. Some people are quite happy earning, 5 figures. Whatever is right for you. It's not what other people tell you to do. But it can happen quickly. And so that inspired me to get to work, and I got excited about what was possible. And as a result of that, I started attracting the clients that I'd been dreaming of. So it's really important to have this, go-getting mentality. You have to believe it can happen for you. And with belief comes confidence. So, what is confidence? It's a strong sense of self. It's a knowing exactly what skill sets you can put at your client's disposal. It's a conviction in the value of what you're offering. And it's a clear vision about your branding and your mission. It's a realistic perception on how your target niche perceives you. And eventually you have a proven track history as a coach, so that builds confidence too. But it's also about how visible you are on social media, on websites, on blogs, on local media. And so, what is confidence? It's not really something that can be learned like a set of rules. Confidence is a state of mind. It comes from feelings of well-being, acceptance of your body and mind, i.e. self-esteem, really, and belief in your own abilities, skills, and experience. And it's the term that we use to describe how we feel about our ability to perform roles or to do the job. And women are invariably, I've got this little dial here, but women tend to have the lower confidence, and that is because of conditioning. And if you look at the world now, there's still a lot of women that are not having anywhere near the freedom that we have, and so all that kind of impacts a little bit. But we can break through that, and as coaches, if we're going to be working with clients, we need to break through that. And that doesn't mean that we cannot make mistakes, because mistakes are inevitable, especially when we're doing something new. Oh gosh, the amount of mistakes that I've made and continue to make, because you're just learning all the time from mistakes. Confidence includes knowing what to do when mistakes occur. So therefore, confidence is also about problem solving and decision making. The result of all that is that you expect success. Once you've got sort of tip-top confidence, you do tend to expect success. And it might seem strange to expect success since you can't predict the future, but don't we do the alternative all the time? Have you ever gone into a stressful situation assuming the worst, that something would go wrong? And conventional wisdom suggests it's smart to expect the worst, and you won't be disappointed if you fail, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. So it's almost like we say, right, if I expect the worst case scenario, then I'm not going to be disappointed. But if you succeed, then it is a real lovely surprise. But research suggests this isn't universally true. Pessimism can undermine your performance and therefore creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. So find the successes in every day and you'll notice over time that they increase. I hope you've got a pen and paper or a journal with you because I'm giving lots of nuggets here. So, please take notes. I meant to say that at the beginning. And trust your capabilities. There's a great quote here from Don King. Confidence comes not from knowing you know everything, but from knowing you can handle what comes up. So no one in the world knows everything, but everyone is good at some things and not so good at others. Don't weigh your security against what you know or can do. Weigh it against your willingness and capacity to learn. If someone criticizes you, take it as an opportunity to improve. If someone does better than you, see it as an opportunity to learn from them. Competitiveness will not make you successful, but being inspired by someone that you are looking up to, or, Facebook is full of them, isn't it? People who are earning 100,000 a month or 6 million a year. But, don't be jealous of them. Use that to inspire you. And don't worry if you're not confident in what you can do now. Be confident in your potential. And the second really vital key to your success is when you change your money story. Because a money story is basically your beliefs around money. In your coaching business, you're going to work with money. You're going to be charging, you're going to be receiving, you're going to be investing, you have expenses. You cannot get away from money. But you also could be dogged by this huge money story that you may have had from childhood or from your family or from your ancestors. And so, for example, there's never enough. That's how you might feel. It's difficult to make money. You always have to live within your means. Never take chances with money. Getting out of debt is difficult. Life is a financial struggle. You have to work 100 hours a week to be really successful. Rich people are evil. All those terms people use, and you go back to your parents. They may well have brought you up like that. It's the rare coach I've found, or potential coach, who has had a very wealth conscious upbringing. It just wasn't done in those days. So we have to break through from this conditioning, because our money stories, they're actually set by the time we're 8 years old. And for that reason, when we bring them into adulthood and our careers, they normally hinder us. Most of the time, these beliefs are given to us by our family or community growing up. And one of the things I found was, it wasn't so much that, so I was earning quite a decent salary in HR and I was comfortable with that. I never really thought about money. It was only when I became a business owner and a businesswoman and I wasn't getting that continual salary check every month that I started to realize, well, I now have a new money story. Perhaps that money story was always there. It was just like invisible because I was getting this regular money, so I didn't need to think about it. But when you're out on your own in the world, then you need to think about it. That's when you realize, yes, you have a money story. And most of the time, these beliefs are given to us by our family or our community growing up. So how do you know what your money story is? Well, one of the ways to get really clear on your own money story is by asking a series of questions. Like, what did your father teach you about money? What did your mother teach you about money? What did your father tell you about money? So teaching and telling can be different. You may have seen your father acting in a different way from what he was saying, or your mother may have told you something about money because her mother told her about money. And so we were getting all these different impressions, different influences on us. And so, how does money make you feel now? And some people, until they come into this personal development world, they don't ever really think about that. But then they wonder why they're worried about being in debt, or why they can't bring in the income that they want to. The next key is attract. Know what you do and who you do it for. Now, that might seem blatantly obvious. Of course, we need to know that. However, it's amazing the number of new coaches out there who have a generic response to the question when you ask, what's your target market? They may say something like, well, I empower women, or I work with women and men aged 20 to 50. Or worst of all, I've heard people say, I work with everyone. And that's not judging, that's just knowing that that's not a very effective way to work, because this kind of approach doesn't work and won't bring you the income that you desire. And so you won't be hitting your income goals if you're working with everyone, because your message will be, how can you work with everyone? Your message just won't be clear. So my advice is to find a niche or find a target market, or if you have a target market, get very, very clear about who your ideal client is in that target market, and then market to them, or market to them as though you're just talking to one person, but stick to that niche, hone it, and get very clear on it. That doesn't really say forever. I mean, you can move on, but be clear on your niche market, target market, and offerings whilst positioning your services effectively. And I've found that your niche calls to you if you listen. And this is what I'm passionate about. And one of the tools I offer in my business that enables me to stand out from other business coaches is that I'm also a life purpose consultant, as I mentioned earlier. This means that I can help a client dive deep into their life experiences, and using tried and tested methods, I can analyse their challenges and help them discover why they're here, what it is they are here to do. The challenges that you've had in life, or the things that you naturally do, are all massive signs of your niche, especially if you're passionate about it and would spend all day doing it for free, because that's another real indication of something that you really do. So why shouldn't you do something that you're passionate about, that you love, and that you can earn money with? But there's a lot of coaches trying to do something that they're passionate about, they love, and yes, they're spiritual, and so they have this ickiness about asking for the money, and so they stay broke, basically. And we need to get over that. Going back to the money story, if you analyze your own money story and then realize that if you were to earn the money that you want to, how many more people could you help around the world? So, it's not about being materialistic. It's about how can you serve people even more? So, as I say, I help clients get ultra clear on their niche, their target market, and eventually their ideal client. And it's about, aligning your message to inspire your ideal client so that they're inspired to their own personal mastery, and you're the facilitator of that. So getting clear on your message once you've identified your target market is vital, because you need to know how to talk to them and engage with them to build a profitable, and that's both emotionally and financially, relationship with them. So, unsurprisingly, the next key, as I've just mentioned it, is to engage. So, we've attracted them, and now we're engaging them. And that's, we love people. We are coaches, or we want to be coaches because we love working with people. And by nature, children are very curious, but we lose much of our inquisitiveness as we age, which is a real shame. Although I do think that people in the personal development world haven't lost as much as some. Because it's a vital trait, especially in business. Curiosity drives you to continuously learn about your industry, to continuously understand your customers and create innovative products. And it's also essential for building quality relationships. After all, people are drawn to those who genuinely want to hear their story. When was the last time someone took an interest in your dreams and desires? And if they did, how did that make you feel? And practice mindfulness. This means being present in the here and now. And this is giving people in your presence 100% of your attention. Learn how to be magnetic, because you're building quality relationships all the time. I mean, people are drawn to those who genuinely want to hear their stories, who they are, what they represent. And, going back to mindfulness and being in the present, technology is a thief in that regard. In fact, if you want to repel someone during a conversation, make sure you do lots of tapping on your phone. The people who I most want to spend time with will never do that. And if you have phone-wielding children, teach them mobile manners early. There are far too many people in the world who are clueless as to how rude it is with this head-down behaviour. And engagement is also about building your optimism. Nobody likes a whiner. So not only are optimists better company, they're more successful than equally talented pessimists. Some research, insurance and financial services company, Metropolitan Life, created a test to determine the optimism levels of new salespeople. Over time, it found that optimists outsold the pessimists by 20% in the first year, with the difference spiking to 50% during the second year. That's really interesting, isn't it? So how else can you be magnetic? Be open-minded. Researchers have found people who describe themselves as lucky tend to notice things more than self-described unlucky people. They're open-minded and willing to act on unexpected opportunities. Unlucky people tend to be tense and so focused on narrow goals that they miss chances to do things. And also show enthusiasm. Whatever you do, get psyched up about it. Just before I put this webinar, I played Lady Gaga, Edge of Glory, because it got me psyched up for this webinar. And if you're ever running a webinar, or if you're about to have a conversation with someone business-wise, play some music that really gets you in a different frame of mind and really gets you in a different vibration. And always be authentic. Show me someone who pretends to have it all together, and you'll find me walking in the other direction. Because whilst authenticity is hard to define, you know when you see it and when you're not seeing it. So my favourite people are direct, and they're not afraid to share things about themselves that might make them even look a little bit, vulnerable. But in doing so, they convey a sense of humility and honesty. And that is so much more engaging than someone who's just a show off or, in their ego. And tell stories. Why? Well, because there are thousands of women offering the same service as you. But there's only one of you. And people will be more attracted to you than what you actually do when you tell a story. Your message must be deeply rooted in your core values and why you're doing this. And that comes from your stories about your experience of life. So I'm going to tell you a story about why I do what I do, or one of the inspirations. Because my last role in HR was at the Foreign Office. And you can imagine in the Foreign Office, it was full, or is full, of civil servants. Lovely people, but a lot of them had been there for a long, long time. And I was working with one particular woman, we'll call her Sylvia. She, in my view, she was quite senior in HR. I mean, she interviewed me for the contract position that I went for, the consultant role. But to me, she was chained to her desk because she was being bullied from more senior people above her. And I don't think she was having a great time at home either, because her husband lived away most of the week and only came back at weekends. And there may have been things going on there, I don't know. But she was a very unhappy lady. And not only that, she was off a lot of the time. When I was only there 10 months, and she was probably off for a third of that with mental health issues, i.e. depression. And I was leaving to start my own business. Before I did this, I was actually a Damsels in Success director. And if people know what that is, it's a personal development organisation for entrepreneurs. And so I ran that for 3 years. But whilst I was preparing to do that, she was very keen to watch me, with my preparation. And I remember her saying to me, "Oh my God," she said, "I wish I could do that." And she said to me, and these are the words, I use these words a lot, but they always make me go cold. But she said, "If I had my time again, I would have been an actress, or I would have had my own beauty salon." And honestly, it was like somebody took her place, because she lit up. She was like a totally different person. She was a happy person. And I said to her, "Well, why don't you?" Oh, and then she shrank back and she said, "Oh, I couldn't possibly." She said, "Because I've got this golden pension and I'm too old." Well, she was only 55. So she was going to wait another 5, possibly 10 years for this golden pension in this environment, doing a job she obviously hated, working for people who obviously weren't very, nice to her. And it broke my heart, but it really inspired me to do what I'm doing now. So that's definitely one of my whys for why I work with women to fulfill their potential. And for me, working with coaches, they're the women who are facilitating that potential with other women, or other with men as well. So it's just me on purpose. I'm just on purpose with that. So think about what stories you have to tell, because I'm sure you have loads. And as I say, I launched the Smart Woman Academy on this premise, and I've got the data to back up that people signed up for it, my clients, because of who I am and what I stand for, not necessarily for what I was offering. So it's really interesting, really powerful. The next key to success, I would say, is create a celebrity-like following. Because as a coach on the internet, you're surrounded by coaches who are, as I say, we said earlier, that, who know who they are, and they're comfortable in their own skin, and they're just rocking it out, and they've got almost a celebrity following. They've got really, really clear about who they are and what they do. And they're so magnetic and good at what they do. And they're not known outside of our industry. So they're not celebrities. You won't find them in the OK magazine. But they certainly inspire those within it. I mean, I can think of one, Gina DeVee, who's my mentor. She's so inspiring. And you can be like this too. You can be visible. That doesn't necessarily mean, using videos or Periscope if you're more of an introvert. But it can be done by using, Facebook ads and growing your reach globally. It can be done by running webinars like this one, or preview calls, which are webinars without slides. And you must be emailing your list and list building. List building is, in addition to getting clients, which we'll talk about in a minute, list building is the number one thing that you should be doing as a new coach. Emailing your list regularly once you have a list, or as you build it, and then consistently, is vital and needs to be done 2 to 3 times per week. All the time you're doing this, you are building relationships. And for some, and also organic reach as well. Posts on Facebook or any of the social media that you enjoy. I think you can actually be a coach on any of them. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is working really well for me. And whether it's because of my corporate background and people see that I've been in HR, so therefore they know I know the corporate world a little bit. But the women that I'm working with, have come out of the corporate world or are looking to come out of the corporate world to be a coach. But equally, Twitter is good, and I'm getting more and more into Twitter, and I'm doing more Periscopes because Periscope is allied to and that's all about your visibility. But people may see you through print. They might have seen a blog that you wrote, or they might see you, heard you on an interview. So there are various ways how people start to follow you. And this builds trust. As I say, I get a lot of clients from LinkedIn, and I also have 2 Facebook groups as well. Ignite Your Coaching Business is one, and the Life Purpose Sanctuary is the other. And you're welcome to join either or both of those if you're not already a member. All new joiners, by the way, are invited to a free clarity and focus call with me. This is another way of building relationships, and I get to know my potential clients a lot better, and they get to know me as well. So people start to get to build trust with you, and so when you have sales conversations, they're already on the call knowing that they want to work with you. And then it's just a question of sorting out logistics and payment, etc. And this is where marketing becomes enjoyable because it's done authentically. There's no nastiness or feeling uncomfortable about selling. And you're doing what you signed up for. You're helping people and you're earning too. And then the next key is what I've just been talking about, really, converting. So convert. You have to convert people to have a successful, into clients, to have a successful business. And the easiest way to get this monthly income that you want is to master sales, and the quickest way for you to achieve your coaching dreams. Master your sales conversations. The easiest way for that dream not to become a reality is not focusing on this area. That's because most clients, especially if you're charging premium prices, they're going to want to ask you questions. They're going to want to suss you out, whether you're the right coach for them. So you need to conduct your sales conversations in a certain way so you can demonstrate your expertise and that you're going to be able to help them achieve their desired results. The conversation needs to be what's included in your coaching package, but not teaching. There's no teaching involved with sales conversations. It is a conversation. It's an overview, and you really need to be able to overcome objections and be able to talk to your potential clients calmly and openly. And people, I understand that people have a lot of difficulty with that, but make this an important step alongside other key areas that we've talked about. And if you've shied away from it, do turn your attention to it, as it will make you more profitable. And it's just practice makes perfect. It really is the easiest way for your dreams of creating a 5K month or more in your coaching business. I can't say it enough. It is to master your sales conversations. Because if you do it right and you acquire a client, you'll acquire a client who will recommend you and remain loyal to you and grateful to you for life, because you will have changed their life in some way, maybe in a small way, but probably in a big way. Because as a coaches, obviously, we open up whatever's inside that person so that they make the decisions for themselves. And that's life-changing. But do it the wrong way, and you'll end up walking away from your clients will walk away from the free session because you haven't shown the value. So you need to gear these sessions and the promotions, your landing page, etc., to attract people who need your precise area of expertise and approach, understand the nature of coaching, and are ready and able to invest financially in coaching as well. I think this next one is probably the most important because it's focusing on finding clients. So first of all, focus is the key, but focus on finding clients. There are so many areas in business you could focus on when you start your business. However, in order to start bringing in the money you desire, you need to focus on client attracting activities only. And that might seem obvious, But it's amazing the number of new coaches who focus on anything but. Whilst things such as great websites, business cards, etc., seem as though they would bring in clients, these are the indirect ways to bring in clients, not the direct ways, and they won't on their own result in a client. Marketing for discovery and strategy sessions or sales conversations, just different terminology for the same thing, promoting your programs, running webinars, are all money-making activities. And list building is also a money-making activity, providing there's a call to action in whatever it is you're offering. So ask yourself, is this activity that I'm actually currently doing going to help me find a client? So, tomorrow when you start in your preparation for your coaching business or actually in your business, ask yourself, is this going to help you find a client? And Tony Robbins said, where attention goes, energy flows. So don't get caught up in side projects, or at least delegate them to somebody else. So analyze each activity that you do. And you'll be doing yourself a huge favor. Well, you'll be doing yourself, the business, a huge favor as well. So let's recap then. 5 keys to success as a coach and in your coaching business. So you've got to believe and have this go-getter mindset. You've got to attract and know what you do and who you do it for. You've got to engage and create a celebrity following. How about focus? Focus, as I say, is finding clients. That's the number one approach. So if you've not been focusing, please change your behavior starting from tomorrow, and you will notice the difference. And convert, master your sales conversations. And the result, when you do all that, is a solid coaching business that provides the confidence and credibility to begin marketing and making money. Who doesn't want that? But there's also another vital key to success that we can't do without, and that's support. It's about getting support and investing in yourself. I was £20,000 in debt, but I knew that nothing was going to stop me investing in myself. I knew that I just wouldn't go further if I didn't. I've since joined high-end coaching programs and invested in a high-end mentor, as I referred to earlier, and got myself a private business coach. And that's because we don't know everything. You don't know everything. And there are people out there more successful and wealthier than you are. Money is energy, and by investing in yourself, you are demonstrating to the universe that you're serious about yourself and your business, and that you will make it successful no matter what. That is a fantastic mantra, by the way. No matter what. So whatever you're doing, providing you're moving in the positive direction, tell yourself you're going to do this no matter what. And when you do this, you grow in confidence because you have someone helping with this. My coach encouraged me to, for example, to claim that I'm the leading life purpose coach, because I wasn't. I was doing it, but nobody knew I was doing it. So I've been doing life purpose work, life purpose consultations, and I've done these for hundreds of entrepreneurs throughout the world, and had many clients who wanted to discover and live their purpose. And so I'm well experienced in it. However, I was playing small, and it took someone else to point this out to me. Your own clients are going to want to know that you're investing in yourself too. That sends a big message. So if you're in resistance, let it go. There's always ways to find money if it really matters to you, to have the support and build momentum to make your business and yourself successful. Another thing to do is surround yourself with like-minded women who believe in collaboration and not competition. And I've been part of a program with 200 such women who all operate at high level of vibration. They're all at different stages. Some of them are absolutely killing it. Others are just, getting started. But they all offer so much support to each other and love, and it's wonderful. And it's made such a difference to me, because you feel part of a real support system. Because let's face it, working from home can be quite isolating. So I'd like to invite you to some support. I'd like to invite you to join my workshop, Align and Attract. I've called it Align and Attract because I think it's vital that, well, I've been talking about aligning and attracting all the way through the webinar, really, but it'll give you client clarity, confidence, and focus. It's a 4-week training program to find your first paying clients for women coaches like you. So let's just run through the program. There are 4 modules. The first one is how to find your confidence and magnetically attract new clients and opportunities. So it's about getting clear on who you are, what you do, and what you offer. Learn how to use visualization and faith to fuel your desires. It's really exciting because if you haven't learned mindset techniques, etc., these are what are going to fuel your business in ways that you probably don't even, you may know about, but you may not have experienced. And it's fabulous. Module 2 is discover your mindset and authentic marketing strategies to get more clients. So learn a 6-step confidence formula that's a game changer for coaches. And transform your limiting beliefs around success and money to accelerate finding paying clients. And learn what it means to be wealth conscious and how to improve yours. And I've got loads of resources as well that I can share with you. Module 3 is engage and connect with your tribe. For tribe, read community. There's all sorts of words that people are using, but I think tribe's quite good because it's kind of like-minded, isn't it? You know that people get you when you're in a tribe. Improve how you communicate what you do and how you connect. You'll learn how to discover list building strategies and why list building is the most important thing to do as a new coach, and how to build and automate a simple sales funnel. And module 4 is enroll new clients and manage your coaching sessions with ease. Learn the value of discovery strategy calls and how to gracefully close the sale. So we'll actually go through and deconstruct a discovery call and how to have an effective one, and then discover how to handle objections and coach your clients into working with you in an effective way. And sign up in the next 7 days to enjoy free bonuses as well. So there's a free 60-minute coaching session worth £197 and a free Ignite Your Coaching Business home study program. That's also worth £197. And if you sign up today, you will you'll get a free life purpose consultation with me. So those bonuses are for 7 days. This is if you sign up today. The cost or the investment today is £197. That's the early bird price. Normally it would be £297. And you can get full details at smartwomanacademy.co.uk align-workshop. I'll leave that on there for you to copy down. I'll be sending it out as well to all attendees. All the live attendees will also get a free or a surprise gift. So look out for that too. Does anyone have any questions? I'm going to unmute the lines if anyone would like to share. I just have to reduce the slides a little bit so that I get the mouse back. Here we go. So I'm going to unmute all the lines if I can. I'm doing it individually. It won't let me do it. Does anyone have any questions? Hello? Is there anyone there, or is it just, he's just breathing? Okay, well, I've got some questions on. You can put them in the chat box if you don't want to ask. If you know, there is a chat box there if you want to use that. But I've also got some questions in the chat box. And someone was asking, Sarah's asking, what resources I have in terms of wealth consciousness. What books would I recommend? Well, I would highly recommend Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, if you haven't heard of it, was written by Napoleon Hill in the 1920s, but don't let that put you off, because the success principles, the 13 success principles that he talks about in that book, is what so many successful entrepreneurs that you know in the world will have read, and not just read, but almost indoctrinated themselves with it. And another vintage book, if you like, that's it's equally as good is The Science of Getting Rich by Walter D. Wattles. So those two, Think and Grow Rich and The Science of Getting Rich, are fantastic. There's also a bit more contemporary, someone called Mike Dooley, who has written Manifesting Change and Breaking the Habit of You, and one other, his name escapes me, but have a look at Mike Dooley and the books that he's written, because they're wealth consciousness, but they're all about mindset as well. Thank you for that, Sarah. Seeing there's any other questions. Oh, hello. Somebody like to ask a question? Oh, I've muted someone again, sorry. Right, you're all unmuted. Okay, no, there's another question. Hello, hi. Is that Ali?
Karen, it's Wendy.
Oh, hello, Wendy. Hi.
Hello. I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Great webinar.
Thank you.
Really informative and really interesting. Just a quick question, really. Is the 4-week program an online program?
Yes, sorry, I didn't say, did I? It's online, but there's live calls every week with me.
Okay.
So yes, I mean, it's in that sense, it's a steal, because most live coaching is, you know, the investment is more, but I am conscious that I'm talking to new coaches, so you know, I'm not going to be ridiculous with what I charge. So that's why it's that rate, but it will be 297 this time next week. So yes, it is. It is. So it will be workbooks, and I think one of my slides is missing. I do apologise. It's workbooks and live calls, and I will send much more information once you sign up. But if you also go to that link, there's a lot more information in there for you too.
Can I ask you to put the link up so that we can record it, because I wasn't quick enough?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, just a second. Where is it? There we go.
Thank you very much, Karen.
You're welcome, and thank you. And you know, it'd be lovely to have you on the programme. Oh, and the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a private Facebook group as well. So because I did talk about community, I want women to be able to talk about this programme and their experiences, you know, in a private setting. So there will be a Facebook group too. I'll just mute you for your privacy, Wendy. Is there anybody else who'd like to ask this question about anything, about the programme or anything that they've learnt tonight, or want me to go over something? Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed bringing you this information. As you can probably tell, I am very passionate about my work. And if anyone wants to ask me about the programme separately, my email address is karen@smartwomanacademy.co.uk. So that's karen@smartwomanacademy.co.uk. Okay, thank you very much. That's the end of the webinar. I will send you a copy. I will send you your surprise gift, and I'll send you details of this workshop as well. Thanks. Bye-bye.
She's boring.